Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Your Individual Wedding. I'm really excited about this episode because we're chatting to two of the team behind the incredible What About Weddings campaign. Now, as you know, whether you're a couple or a supplier listening to this year has been incredibly upsetting and challenging for people involved in weddings. You might have had to have your wedding pushed back once or maybe even twice, and I know the amount of frustration and stress and disappointment that has caused. Or like me, you might be a wedding supplier who has lost a significant amount of business and income, and again are stressed and desperately trying to support your couples and stay afloat and look after your mental health. The good news is that we have been given a voice and we do have a focus and a way that we can all come together to push the government to provide us with, I was going to say more support, but any support whatsoever, to not just recognise that this is a really, really valuable industry to Great Britain, but also that we are all viable, we are all valid, and that there is no better job for any of us. We're all insanely talented people, passionate about our couples, and so if you've been feeling a little bit down or a lot down and stressed and anxious, don't know where to turn, then I hope this podcast gives you hope that we are all in this together and we are all going to come out of it, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So please take time out from whatever you're doing, turn off all the negative news feeds, switch off your emails, turn off your phone, and just take half an hour to listen to what's being done to help you, to support you, and find a little bit of solace that we're all in this together and we're all going to get through. I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you are stressed, whether you're a couple or a supplier, you can reach out to me at any time on the phone, or you can email info@rosswiltshirephotography.co.uk. So if you need a bit of support after listening to this, as well as the links that the ladies are going to share, do get in touch. I'm here for you and I will help you in any way that I can. Enjoy this week's episode and thank you so much for listening.
Good afternoon, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me here on the podcast to talk about your wonderful campaign. Can you just introduce yourselves, first of all, who you are and what your business is?
Oh, thank you so much for having us, Ross. I am Annabel and I'm the founder of Love My Dress, which is a wedding blog, wedding platform that I've been running now for 11 years. Also published author, and I know she's going to introduce herself in a moment, but I've been working with Tamryn for I don't know how many years now. Tamryn, do say.
Hi, yeah, it's is it about 7 years now we've been working together?
Yeah.
I think it is. So I'm Tamryn Settle. I've been in the wedding industry for, goodness me, 17 years now. Started off as a wedding planner, sort of moved into writing. I've written a couple of books as well, and then started working with Annabel 7 years ago. And I'm also a wedding celebrant on the side, which just makes me sound like the world's biggest wedding junkie ever, doesn't it? Which is probably quite true. So I would absolutely take that as my badge of honour.
A one-woman stop for weddings. I like it. It sounds good. And the one thing we haven't got in common is obviously that we all work in the wedding industry, and obviously this year we've been unable to do what we love and what we're passionate about and what we're really good at. So we've all been desperately trying to shift the situation and make the best of the year and more importantly, push forward. And that's what you two have predominantly spent your time this year doing with your campaign. Do you just want to talk a little bit about the campaign, what's it called, and sort of what you've been working on up until this point?
Yeah, sure. I can't take credit for the campaign name. That was Tamryn. The campaign is What About Weddings. And I think at the very start of the lockdown, we felt like we needed to do something. We weren't really sure what, but we had that kind of roll our sleeves up, right, let's help our community. We've got to do something. We've got to gather people together, reassure people, let's just see what we can do. So it grew quite organically from the start. We started to host Zoom sessions for Love My Dress clients. And then we started to invite people from outside of Love My Dress. I'm co-founder of a huge Facebook group now, the Wedding Industry Support and Discussion Group, which I set up with Pocketful of Dreams. And so we started to share the fact that we were doing Zooms and trying to create community within that group. And so things grew quite organically, and obviously the conversation started to move towards what can we do? How can we help one another? And yeah, we people who wanted to help, we were drawn towards us and what we were doing, and we just created a sort of movement. I mean, I say we, I'm not taking credit for that. It's everybody who's been involved from the start has brought different energies and different skills and talents together, but that's kind of how it started out. So yeah, and Tamryn obviously has been working with me from the start anyway, but in hosting the Zoom sessions, we were attracting all these people that we'd never met before, perhaps hadn't spoken to for a very long time, and just realised that we all wanted to do something more to try and push for the support we needed, which I think, to be fair, way back then, we didn't know we needed as much support as we know we need now.
Absolutely.
Be a community to support and listen to one another and help. But as I say, over time, it's become so much more than that. It's become a political campaign, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. The What About Weddings campaign. So what have you done from a political point of view so far? What is the aim, as it were, or aims of the campaign?
So I think we started off, like Annabel said, with this kind of really organic plan of we just need to maybe give a voice to a lot of people, and then we kind of got to the point of thinking, well, that's all very well, but we actually need to affect some change, otherwise things are just going to rumble on. And we need to be part of these conversations that people in government are obviously having about weddings. They're making decisions about weddings, but there needs to be maybe better kind of representation in these conversations. There needs to be a clear goal to the conversation. So it sounds really awful to say, but I feel like it's one of those things that's been an absolute learning on the job kind of thing. I've been quite political for a long time, really interested in politics, worked on the election and stuff last year. So there's bits and pieces that you kind of pick up along the way. And we've been trying to start with, it was just get in touch with your MP. If you're a business or a couple, tell them what your story is, tell them, give them your take on what's going on. And we started seeing before summer recess, all of a sudden these MPs starting to stand up in the House of Parliament and starting asking questions and bringing up businesses that they've had conversations with or couples that they've had conversations with. And we were kind of like, God, people are starting to pay attention. There's definitely some stuff going on here. And then obviously over the summer, that was kind of a bit of a dip, I suppose, because obviously the MPs aren't in Westminster, all those kind of questions fell off. So that was quite tricky, but through the work of some brilliant campaigners locally, we got some meetings with some cabinet ministers, and were asked to present solutions to cabinet ministers to take to other meetings that they were having, like how can we move things forward. And that was really great. And then just out of the blue one day, kind of got contacted by Ed Miliband's office saying, we want to know more about the campaign, what's happening with weddings. So that kind of led to various conversations. That led to Keir Starmer standing up and asking an out-and-out question about weddings in Prime Minister's questions, and it's just kind of, it feels now like they can't look away from weddings. We've made enough noise and we've made enough points and enough comments, and they must have had so many letters and emails from people about weddings that they can't not look at us. So it feels now like we're at this really great turning point where when MPs are tweeting about, the new support package that Rishi Sunak has announced, they'll actually say, but this won't help the wedding industry. And you're kind of like, great, we've got them looking and they're paying attention and they understand not just one element of it. So they're not just understanding how important weddings are for society. They're not just understanding how important they are for people's lives. They're understanding that we're a serious sector who brings serious economic benefits to this country, and they have to include us now in their plans. And that feels like such a massive win that we are edging closer to having... the conversations that will get us exactly what we want now. And yeah, it feels like it's a whirlwind, but it's been brilliant. And I'm so proud of everyone who's emailed their MP, put themselves out of their comfort zone to tweet their MP, or just be maybe political in a way that they've never been before. And that is why we have got to where we've got, because of all those emails and all those letters. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
I was just going to say as well, and it isn't just people who are working in the sector. Right from the very start, we've had consumer support, we call them consumers, but the couples basically who were due to get married this year and have had to postpone or maybe sadly even cancel for whatever reason. They've been absolutely fantastic. And I think that for me has been one of the biggest plus points of this whole campaign from the off. It really feels like it's for everybody, a 360-degree perspective. It's for suppliers and for couples. It doesn't, everybody's included. It's been fantastic. And I think another thing we've been very, very mindful of as well in moving forward and establishing a website, and more recently last week establishing social channels on Instagram and Twitter and what have you. We're very keen not to make the campaign an us thing. We've even gone as far as not including our names on the website, because we want everybody to have a sense of ownership of this campaign and to feel like they can be a part of it.
And that to me is one of the really lovely things about it. You kind of see people taking the What About Weddings hashtag and going off and doing their own things. A few weeks ago there was a kind of mini campaign in Sheffield where some people up there who are kind of on our side, and I have no clue who they are, dressed up some of the statues in Sheffield in wedding dresses and veils, and little What About Weddings placards on them, and you're kind of like, yes, you've taken something and you've made it yours and you've made a statement. And yeah, that's when you feel really proud that people feel that it belongs to them in a way that they can get involved with, and that's perfect.
Yeah, and you should feel proud. I think what you've done is phenomenal. I know you're both exhausted and you've been working endlessly, and there's so much support out there for what you do. And I think as a supplier myself, it's given us a voice, which we all needed. It's given couples, and clients a voice. And just the hashtag, it's a collective action, and I think that was what was needed. I think there was so much lack of clarity from the government that what I saw at first was a lot of, although people were trying to come together, because there was no one right answer to how to deal with clients or how to, petition the government, or how to deal with things. People were getting a bit tetchy. I saw online sort of people were rubbing each other up the wrong way, and that all came from the top, from the government, because nobody had any clear guidance of what to do or how to proceed. So I think what your campaign has done is just given us a funnel and a focus for our energies. And on times where we feel helpless, we now feel we have something to do and we have other people with us, and it's that power in numbers, I think, that you've helped to create, which I think is so important.
Sorry, Tamryn, I was going to say, from the off, there are two words that guided me into this space that I know nothing about. I am not politically minded. Tamryn's going to be a geek and she'll openly admit that. I am not. I knew nothing about it whatsoever. So it's been a huge learning curve for me. But the two things I've had that have guided me from the off, we need to be compassionate and we need to be empathetic. And I think those two things have just been like the guiding, the grounding things that have just kept us focused from the off, and been really, really aware that, I personally believe that this government's biggest challenge will be mental health, the mental health issues in the coming months and years. I'm very aware of that. When I look out across the sea of amazing suppliers that support us, that make up this sector. So I think we've all of us who've been involved in campaigning have been very, very aware of how kind and empathetic we need to be all of the time. And it's not, we don't want to be seen as like a group of angry protesters. We're trying to do this the right way. Very much. I'm nodding along, so she probably wants to say something. But yeah, that's been something that's been really, really important to us. Just create a community that's kind and supportive and listens, and so. Yeah,
and we touched on that before when I was part of your Zoom call on mental health last week or the week before. I think we all started out thinking not of ourselves but of our couples. That was our primary concern. That's where our energies went at the start of all of this. So I think it's really important, like you said, that, you know, this campaign is for suppliers and couples to come together, because I think that's such a unique sort of business client relationships in the wedding industry. I don't think there's any other industry where there's so much compassion and closeness, and that relationship you build with your clients, you know, as they're planning their wedding. And obviously for me and other suppliers, beyond their wedding dates, they become friends, and you know, they've trusted you with such an important milestone in their life, that you know, when things are hard like this year, you do want to come together, you do want to build that relationship. So it's so great that it's not, you know, couples, you need to go away and do X, Y, and Z, and we'll do this, and then when it all gets back to normal, we'll meet up again. It's not been like that, and I think that's, for me, a huge positive, the coming together of everyone for that common goal. And and you've been integral in creating that. So thank you very much.
I feel like it's been a lot about trying to give people some confidence.
Yes.
Because getting involved in a kind of political sphere online, or however you're doing it, even the thought sometimes of, oh God, writing to your MP, you know, that feels like quite a big thing. So what we've tried to do is just make it easy, accessible, but give people the confidence and the information that you can do these things, and you can stand up, and you can make your voice be heard. And, you know, and exactly what you were saying at the beginning of this, we were all kind of, there was a real sense of, oh my gosh, I can't talk about a wedding. You know, we had feedback from brides and from couples and from grooms all saying, I feel dreadful talking about my wedding because so many bigger things are going on that it just feels like a real irrelevance right now. And same with businesses saying, you know, my couples are going through all of this awful stuff, and I feel awful worrying about, have you re-signed your sort of your new terms and conditions? You know, it was just, it was a real kind of mishmash of everybody feeling like we didn't deserve to have a voice, and we didn't deserve to feel the way we feel about weddings, whether that's because you're a couple or a business. And actually, to me, giving people the confidence to stand up and say, I love what I do, particularly after we've had comments along that have all made us feel pretty ropey about, you're not viable, you know, you should get a better job. I have a great job, I'm fine, thank you very much. And giving people the confidence to stand up against you know, a government minister to say, do you know what, I'm fine, thank you very much. And couples to kick back on, you can't be trusted to behave at a wedding, to say, I can be trusted, you know, these are my friends and family. That sort of bringing confidence at a time where we've all been shut away, and we've all kind of become these people who second guess everything that we're doing and wonder if we're doing the right thing. That confidence to me has been one of the biggest things in this, and it's worked on me, and I just kind of hope it's worked on everyone else as well.
No, it has, absolutely. Okay, so 2 questions. So I get couples and suppliers listening to this podcast. So if they're listening saying, either 1, where do I go for help? I'm feeling a bit crap for whatever reason. And 2, what can I do to help other people and be part of their campaign? Do you want to take one each? What can they do to help, and where can they go to get help? Who wants to do which?
I'm happy to do that if they want to help the campaign. Then
yeah, go for it.
So obviously visit the website, whataboutweddings.co.uk, and there are resources on there that will really help you. So if you want to get involved and write to your MP, there are template letters on there that you can download and tailor to make sure your own story is included. So we've kind of even given a link in there. If you're not even sure who your MP is, you can click here and get their email address and get all their details. So that's there. Lots of the campaign information is there. So a lot of the stats about how much the industry is worth, how many people are involved. So you can speak with confidence and you can speak with clarity. And if you really want to get involved, we really want this campaign to encompass as many different people and their beliefs and their great ideas and their skill sets. So there's a join us page on the website. You can just go on there, pop your details in and donate your time if you are happy to help us sending out emails or dealing with whatever sort of campaign admin there is. You can get more involved if you want to and become part of our support team, or you can just sign up to receive updates. And that's another thing. This sector is so populated by the most immensely talented people, not just at what they do with weddings, weddings, but you know, we've had emails come in from people saying, I used to work in the civil service, I can help you with information here. I used to work in medical research, I can help you with this. I used to work in stats, I can help you with surveys. And all of these people, we are such a brilliant industry for what we do for weddings, but oh my goodness, what are behind all of these people is just incredible. So whatever you can bring, whether it's an email to an MP or it's getting more involved, then we would absolutely love to hear from you.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I think as far as couples are concerned, you know, it's okay to feel really, really down and sad and upset that your wedding can't happen like you wanted it to. You know, Tamryn talked before about, I mean, we've been in so many Zoom sessions with brides to try and, you know, work out where they're at so we can feedback correctly, and they've just been devastated. It's okay. So much happens, so much depends on a wedding. So, you know, aside from the financial aspect, people might have stayed for years, you know, but what about wanting to start a family, or what about having, you know, ill relatives who might not have very long and that you want to attend that wedding? There's real life issues at hand here. So there are lots of support groups on Facebook. We've got one of our own for Love My Dress, but I think finding a tribe where you can feel like you belong, can talk about those things is important. But we're really active as well on social media, so couples can reach out at any time, and we're open to suggestions of content ideas that we can talk about and publish content on Love My Dress. If they want to see more of a particular thing or have advice, you know, have us explore how we can, you know, advice on any particular subject, then let us know. We'll look into it and we'll publish that content for you. Reach out, but do reach out. Don't kind of think that don't be on your own. You're not on your own. Don't suffer in silence. There's lots of people out there who can support you. It's just about finding your tribe and not being afraid to talk about it. A wedding, isn't it? You know, we've had this conversation so many times about birth, marriage, death. Wedding, it's such a linchpin moment in people's lives. It's not the media will have it as it's this fluffy event. It's a choice. You don't have to have it. Actually, there are many cultures that do have to get married before they can embark on the next phase of their lives together or even live together. It's much more than I think the government even understands when it comes down to it, you know, a wedding. So yeah, there are lots of support groups online. Find your tribe, but reach out, you know, DM us, connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, email us. We're here to help at the end of the day. So
brilliant. Yeah, and I think communication is really important. Keep the open communication between, you know, your supplier or your couple, if you are a supplier, and just talk. And obviously it's a business relationship, but you know, it's a difficult time for all of us. So I think if I'm advice for other suppliers is to talk to couples and without being overly personal. If you're having a tough time, be honest. You know, if you're inundated with postponements or things are hard, then don't think it's unprofessional in this circumstance to you don't have to pull your heart out, but just to give you a heads up, dealing with a lot of postponements or having trouble with this aspect, or I've got to take some time away for this, and just let them know. And you know, most of the time people will appreciate that. And I think the same goes for couples. If they're looking to postpone or they've got questions, just think about the tone of your email or your text message or your voice note, and just send those messages when you're in a bit of a better headspace. And I know people panic, and when they realise, you know, the venue's not available and they have to shift everything, but it's just being aware of what everyone else is going through, which I think on the whole people have been fantastic about. But I think when you are under stress, you can become very tunnel visioned and insular, and you sort of forget that what comes out isn't always the most understanding in tone or content. And I know from other suppliers and from couples that they've both experienced the odd thing that wasn't meant in any way, and actually if they picked up the phone and spoke, it would have been fine, but just, you know, a badly worded email has not gone down well. So I just think it's a really simple way to just keep things smooth and more positive, is just to spend, you know, a couple more minutes thinking about how you're interacting with your couples and your suppliers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've talked a lot in the whole running of the campaign about knee-jerk reactions, and whether that's the knee-jerk reaction from a government just saying, "Oh, we're going to cut your numbers," or "We're going to take your receptions away," to, you know, even us reacting to a comment and just wanting to say something really quickly because it's annoyed us. You almost have to. I'm not going to do the knee-jerk reaction. We need to just have a minute. And you're absolutely right. I still do it. I still allow myself to type the furious email when something has riled me, because I do kind of feel like I need to get it out, but I'm disciplined enough now that I don't press send. So,
like that meme with the cat on the keyboard.
Yeah, I'm just mad for a little minute and get it out, and that helps, and then I can delete it, and then I'm much calmer. But it's that thing, isn't it? We're all learning, we're all feeling our way through this. Oh my goodness, a year ago, could we imagine that we would have been in this situation? No, we're all making this up as we go along, pretty much. Totally. So we just need to be a bit kind to ourselves, but also recognise, I have a tendency to write the ragey email, and I've learnt that I just need to wait a minute. So you kind of recognise your behaviours, right? And after a while, you learn how to kind of moderate them and just kind of tune them down a bit. But we just all need to cut ourselves a bit of slack. This has been an incredibly taxing, tiring, emotional roller coaster over the last few months. And, you know, I know, Ross, we did the Zoom the other week with the Shadow Minister for Mental Health. Yeah. And one of the things that she said just really hit home is, like, we're all dealing with a million layers of life on top of this situation too. So I'm doing my best just to cut everyone a load of slack, and know that we're all just feeling our way through. And if I'm feeling stressed about something, everyone else must be feeling stressed about their things. So let's just lighten up a little bit with each other, I think.
It's so true. One thing I've learned is that, you know, that fear can manifest itself through anger. So I'm so mindful of that. Like, I manage a number of closed groups on Facebook, and obviously everyone's feeling a bit heated at the moment. And I know when people are reporting to me, there might be something going down in this group, you need to have a look and moderate. I have a look and I think, guys, you know, these people are just frightened. They're frightened like everybody else right now. And, you know, talking about suppliers as well, I think it's really important that you raise that point, Ross, about just taking time to think and consider, you know, when you contact them, before you contact them. I know that must be incredibly hard when you're the couple who sat there having to look at finances and work out, you know, whether you need to postpone or cancel and change all of the plans that are in place. But there are real people on the other end of that email who have livelihoods to deal with, and that can be crushing, you know, to receive that angry email on that day. And it could be that email that tips that person over the edge. It's just a horrible thing to think about, but my eyes have really been opened up the past month or so, the emails we've been receiving and the conversations we've been having about, as I say, what a huge mental health crisis this is. And just a little shout for the Facebook group that we've set up for suppliers. It's really important to me that people feel comfortable talking about that in spaces like that it feels like a safe space. Because, I mean, we're all living through trauma right now, aren't we? We don't have the skill, I don't think, many of us, to be able to deal with that on a day-to-day. We're winging it most of the time, and it barely feels like we have enough time to lift our heads above the parapet to breathe and just consider flipping out, you know, what's just happened there, what's even happened today. I certainly feel like I'm going on it like, you know, a hamster in a wheel most of the time. And yesterday I spent most of the day crying my eyes out because it was just one of those days. It was too much. It just felt relentless, and I was working all day on a Sunday. It's okay to talk about that kind of thing. It's okay to open up to other suppliers, or drop your friend a WhatsApp, or join the group and just have a little bit of an open-hearted moment. Sure, you don't have to spill everything if you don't feel comfortable, but there's no harm in sharing how you feel in that sense. And I think I'm seeing more and more of it. It almost feels like it's pulling the community together a lot more. So
I definitely think the community have come together a bit more, and everyone's sort of got not that they didn't before, but just that mutual respect for what everyone does and what everyone's,
a deeper level of empathy and sympathy and, you know, compassion for one another and what we're all going through. And I keep having to remind myself, if I'm having a really, really rubbish day, everyone else is going through this right now. Everyone's going through their own troubles right now. So just be kind, you know, just have that moment, that second. Sure, like Tamryn says, write that email out. Maybe don't send it. Maybe just keep it in your drafts for an extra couple of days and see how you feel then.
Yeah, Good. That's a really good tip. Write the email, but don't send it. I like that one. So we've talked a little bit about sort of what you have been doing and what other people can do to help. What's coming up? What are you looking? I don't know if looking forward is the right word, but what have you planned for the immediate future with the campaign and sort of achieving
What about the demo, Tamryn? Do you want to talk about that? Yeah, we have to be quite careful what we say about the demonstration.
Yeah, this feels like this is a complete sort of secret squirrel moment. People are going to come bursting through my windows and sort of like telling me to be quiet, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we have been working really closely with the amazing team at We Make Events over the last month or so, and really, oh my goodness, those guys, if we think we work at 1,000,000 miles an hour, those guys are sort of at light speed continually. They're just fantastic. So we're working with them to host a creative demonstration, for want of a better word, in Parliament Square in November that will hopefully raise the profile of the troubles that the industry is having, but also what we miss by not having weddings in our lives, everybody right now. This isn't just it's just to highlight, you know, what we're missing and kind of the importance of weddings beyond, you know, that legal act of signing a piece of paper, what it really means. So that demonstration is going to be fantastic, but it is also going to come with a big healthy dose of responsibility for everyone who's involved, because we have been fighting. It felt like we were on the back foot when this campaign started. We have had to do an awful lot of work to get the serious people in charge to take us seriously. There was a lot of that sense, and I know Annabelle sort of alluded to it earlier, that we are the fluffy, nice, pretty, everything's happy and wonderful and lovely in wedding world kind of people all the time. And we've had to do a lot of work, a lot of serious research and strategizing and making them see, actually, that's not who we really are. We're a brilliant industry. We contribute to the economy. We bring so much work and employment opportunities to this country, and we are a serious industry that needs to be taken seriously, and that needs to come across with the demonstration. It has to be really well managed. It's going to be really sort of tightly controlled, because, you know, we have a very small window of permission from the Met Police and the GLA to host a demonstration, to have that number of people together. So it's literally run to the minute, where once our time elapses, we all have to leave in groups of 6 or less. We can't hang around, we can't do anything, and we can't do anything that jeopardizes the reputation of our industry. If we're going to government and if we're going to the people in charge saying, trust us, we can run events seriously, if we can't even run our own events seriously, we're going to look pretty stupid. So I feel like this is the one time I'm going to be the absolute fun sponge and total mood hoover on the scenario, but we are not losing the goodwill and the momentum that we've built up. No. So we will absolutely be releasing details, but it comes with the caveat that if you want to get involved in this, you get involved with this in a really serious and respectful way. This is not the time to come and start shouting and behaving like a crazy political animal like me. Even I'm going to have to rein it in, because I don't want to be, made to look stupid. So yeah, that's coming up. That is a huge amount of work, but my goodness, it's going to be, I imagine it's going to be one of the most emotional moments of my life, and I can't wait.
I can imagine. That sounds incredible, really incredible. And what a way to sort of towards the end of the year to be doing that and raising that point and that awareness and making that statement. That's a huge statement to make. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's that thing, sorry Annabelle, darling, of like giving people a voice, right?
Yeah.
We're giving them a voice, and we're giving them the confidence to come to something. I'm relatively political, but I've never been to a demonstration or anything like this before, but I'm doing it because I believe in this so much, and this is our chance to sort of stand outside Parliament and say, look at us, we are here, and we can't jeopardize that. So yeah, total fun sponge, that's me. But we're going to do it, and it's going to be exceptional.
It will definitely be exceptional. And I know that you have couples and suppliers listening to this. So this demonstration is for suppliers only, just to clarify. It's
right.
A business making a statement for the support that they really, really need now from government. But it's going to be amazing. and we're really looking forward to that. And then, of course, this Saturday, which I think is a day after your podcast goes live.
Yeah, so tomorrow, if you're one of the keen early listeners.
The 31st, basically, of October marks what's would have been the end of the wedding season, if there was even a wedding season anymore after this. So we've got a little something special up our sleeve to share on Sunday. That will be on social media, and I don't want to go into any more detail than that right now because I want it to be a complete surprise for people, but there's something really, really special that we're sharing that's hopefully going to be something that can lift spirits a little bit, you know, because we are, as well as trying our very hardest here to push forward with this political campaign, we're a creative sector, and, you know, we're creative people, and we haven't forgot that there's a creative element that we need to work on here as well in all of our campaigning. So we've got something a little lovely up our sleeves to share on Sunday. So definitely it'll be all over social media on Sunday the 1st of November. You heard it here first, but you'll see it there. So yeah, they're the two things we're working on. They're the biggies at the moment.
They're very big, yeah, two very big things. That's super exciting. So yeah, do you just want to remind everyone of websites and social media handles and hashtags so that people are listening and don't know where to find you, they can?
Do you want to take that, or shall I take that, Tamryn?
I have no preference, but there was an awkward pause there, like we had no clue what was going on. But that was definitely because we were just looking at each other saying, who's going to do that? Annabel, you do it, darling, you do it.
Okay, the website is at whataboutweddings.co.uk. And yeah, there's a hashtag whataboutweddings. We now have our own dedicated Instagram account, which is whataboutweddings official. We have Twitter. Twitter's been amazing. God, I'd stepped back off from the Twitter run mill for some time, but I can't keep away from it now. It's fantastic.
Twitter seems a lot more political than the other platforms, actually.
It's everybody, and I totally get that, but it's alive right now. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Heartbeat is pulsing very, very fast. And that's WAW official, I believe. Is that right, Tamryn?
Yeah.
And then we have a closed group for suppliers, venue owners, basically anyone who works in the wedding industry, which is if you search, I think it's linked on our website, actually, the Facebook group. So yeah, it's otherwise it's a bit of a mouthful, but a long one to remember. And that's where we are at the moment for social channels, but they're really busy. I think we launched our Instagram and had over 2,000 followers in the first night. There were lots of people wanting to be a part of this and wanting to engage. And so, yeah, it's great. It's great to see everybody getting involved in that sense.
Brilliant. And Tamryn, I'm going to put you on the spot now because I want I want to finish on a positive. It's all been positive. What you've been doing is incredible. If you had one message for people listening, whether they're couples or suppliers, what would you want to leave them with? What would you want them to go away and have in their minds?
I want them to know that we've got them. We are working our socks off for you right now. We are giving literally everything we have to get you back to what you want, whether that's back to work, back to your wedding. We are absolutely burning the midnight oil, to want of a better phrase, but we are here and we have got you and we are not going anywhere. This campaign is going to keep running, and we're not going to be quiet. We've found our voices, and the more voices that want to join with us and the more people that want to get involved, the better. You know, we are such a little quiet army. Weddings have been this sort of, secret, quiet, beavering away on our own little army for such a long time, but we're not going quietly now. We are standing up and we are saying what we're worth and why we're important. And if anyone wants to join us, you are more than welcome, and we would love to have you.
Wow, that is fantastic. That's a lovely little soundbite for the promo clip. So that's sorted. Anything you wanted to add, Annabel, to that?
Yeah, I was just listening to that thinking, she's just nailed this so brilliantly. But I remember something someone said to me recently about what if you don't get what you want? What's the plan B? There is no plan B. The plan A is where it's at, and we're going to fight and work hard and campaign until we get that, basically. There's just no compromise whatsoever. So completely, we're there, we're here, we're not going anywhere.
So I'm a total military history geek, like really military history geek. And I just remember all these kind of quotes from Churchill, like love him or loathe him, the man had a way with words. And one of his best quotes is, "The best way out is through." And we are going through this together, and we are sticking with each other shoulder to shoulder until we get to the other side. And then, my goodness, we are going to have the best party and the biggest celebration, and we will have done this all together. And that's going to be the biggest, I can't even put it into words, how incredible it will be that this is something we have done for each other. We haven't just stayed in our own little silos, beavering with our blinkers on like we often have in this sector. We have looked up and looked around and put our arms around as many people as we can, and we are taking everybody with us. And we're getting through this, and we're getting through this together.
And it would be amazing, and I'm really feeling this happening right now, if as a byproduct of all of this effort and love and passion and dedication everybody's pouring into it, that everybody outside of the sector can see that we are serious people running serious businesses and deserve a little respect. Because, as I say, the media haven't taken us seriously up to now. You think of any programs, TV series, they just, weddings are really serious business. Couples' lives are serious, Don't treat us like that.
I often think the reason people see weddings as fluffy and wonderful and easy is because they don't see all the hard work that goes into it. It's because we're good at our jobs that they seem so fluffy and whatever people, airy-fairy, whatever people want to throw an image of a wedding at, it's incredibly hard work behind the scenes. So if people are thinking it's this thing that just happens, then it means that all us people in the industry are brilliant at our jobs, which we are, and we deserve the respect and the treatment that we're not currently getting, but that we will get. I'm confident we will get.
100%.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed listening to you, and I feel really upbeat and confident finishing on that rousing speech by Tamryn. I think there's an alternative job there for you somewhere down the line.
Vote Tamryn.
I look out for your TED talk whenever that comes. Thank you very much, ladies, and take care and good luck with everything.
Well, thank you so much, Ross. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.